My first campout in the Canadian Maritimes started with a drive through the mist of the coastal morning fog. Well, as you can probably hear, it's raining. I seem to get a lot of rain, but that's okay. It's not going to stop me. I'm still going to do a little traveling, a little walking around, take some trails. This is Fundy National Park in New Brunswick, and this is the Wolf Point Campground. It's not bad. It's a little cramped. I have a non-service site, which means there's no hookups. There is water down the road, and there's washrooms with running water, flush toilets and sinks, and even showers, so that's not bad. But yeah, I'm okay with it. It's not boondocking. I had to pay, but it's a little bit more of a challenge to find free places, especially in peak season, even when it's raining. Now, as far as the camper goes, I'm obviously under the awning. That's why I'm not getting wet. As you can see, it's raining. The only changes I've made to the camper this trip is I've jacked it up. If you look underneath here, you can see I've raised it about 4 inches because I had it a little lower. What was happening is the wheel was hitting the well right there again. That happened before when I had my older axle. I didn't expect it would happen with this new one, but it did. But the good thing about this new axle is that I can adjust it myself. I just have to jack it up, put it on blocks, and I can adjust it. And so I think originally when I got it, it was tilted up like that, and so I brought it down like that, which is about 4 inches. And as you can see, the rain's getting worse. I don't think I'm going to go on a trail right now. And I don't think I'm going to stay out here that long either. It's time to go inside. My God, it's a torrential downpour. This is not a good hiking day. But the good news is there doesn't appear to be any leaks in the trailer whatsoever. It's nice and dry in here, and I hope it stays that way. But it did ease up a bit, enough to leave the waterlogged campsite and drive to a trailhead. Dixon Falls was only a few kilometers from the campsite, and the trail a short 1 kilometer walk. I was very impressed at how well the trail was constructed and maintained. Now, the nice thing about bad weather is, despite it being peak season, there's nobody here. It's too wet. Perfect for me. But despite the well-groomed trail, keep in mind that it does get slippery, especially in rain. so hiking boots with a good tread are well recommended. And the lower you go, the slipperier it gets. Although some might assume that these are the falls, but they are actually just a series of cascades briskly shooting down the Dixon Brook, providing plenty of moisture for its lush green foliage on its banks. And after the bridge passes back over the brook, the views get even better. I don't know if you can hear me, but it's just absolutely stunning. And just around a corner lies the main attraction. The ferocity of cascading water is even more apparent when you slow the camera down to a quarter speed. It was a great first walk, but I didn't pack lunch, so back to camp I went. But not before getting the critical eye from this red squirrel. Look at that. It's no longer raining. It's a nice day. It's not sunny. And it's a little windy, but it's pleasant. And it gives me an opportunity to talk about another little idea I had. Now, on a separate subject, but they're all related, Canadians in general are not known to be big flag wavers. Now, it's not that we don't like our country, it's just we don't like waving flags, because if you wave a flag, that means you either got to put down your coffee or your donut or one of your 2 beers. It takes too much effort to wave a flag. So we came up with a better way. And that's this. And what is this? It's the Canadian flag. And you don't have to hold on to it. You just put it on like that. I mean, look at this. It protects your head from the sun, from the rain. You make an awesome fashion statement. It's win-win. And you don't have to put down your coffee or your donut. But I have another use for this as well. Because what I did is I took one of these and I put a little nut there. That's a 1/4 inch 20 nut. And I know it's a nutty idea, but I also took a rod. Now I've got an acrylic rod because I just happen to have a piece of acrylic rod, and threaded one end, and I've got a camera mount on the bottom. This I had to buy off Amazon, but the way this works is I thread it through that nut that I put on my little Canadian flag, and that means that I can put it on my camera. So this is an instant little mini umbrella that protects my camera from getting wet. Now isn't that a cool idea? And yeah, you just gotta ask a Canadian for one of these funny little hats. They all have them. They'll probably not admit it, but say, Slim said it's okay. And they'll tell you, oh yeah, we have one of these as well. And they'll give you one. Let me show you how well it works in the rain. But Herring Cove had no rain at all. Just a lot of seaweed and a few snails. All was quiet, relaxing, and quite peaceful. Until this crow got rowdy. So I headed a few miles east to the Upper Salmon River, where its feathered fishermen are a little more relaxed. And where the river meets the sea is the little village of Alma. Its docks filled with lobster boats, and its beaches with seashells. Now, Alma boasts about having some of the highest tides in the world. However, when I arrived there, it seemed it was one of the lowest. But just wait 6 hours and 16 minutes, and the village transforms. And the boats creep upward. But today was unique, as with the change of the tides, there is also another transformation. Fog over the water is a common sight. But watch what happens in Alma when it lifts. Although not as obvious in real time, when the camera is sped up, the change is dramatic. And as the fog erupts into massive clouds of moisture, the Lilliputians of the beach run for cover. Now all that moisture has to go somewhere, and here it's to the higher elevations of Fundy Park. And that's where the Caribou Plain Trail is located. An easy walking trail about an hour long. It takes you through some of the more impressive woodlands, ponds, and bogs of the park. Caribou Lake, as well as the rest of the region, is part of the UNESCO Fundy Biosphere Reserve, which means it's been recognized as both an important and truly unique habitat for wildlife. The presence of frogs is a sign of an ecosystem that is healthy. But it does take a lot of patience waiting for that unfortunate fat fly dinner. It doesn't help that these carnivorous pitcher plants also like flies, so the competition is stiff. Birds of prey also like frogs, and all seem to be well fed. Life is good for the flora, as fertile soil, a little sunlight, and lots of moisture make them happy till fall. Apparently toads don't make a tasty dinner to most predators, so they're probably a little better off than the frogs. All this leafy vegetation attracted this chubby groundhog, who helped remind me that I was getting hungry too. Pretty slim pickings as usual, but a few basic ingredients gave me hope of a good meal.
And the special meal of the day is okra, pan-fried potatoes, and what's called Buddha's Delight, which is a delightful mix of vegetables and gluten, and it gives it that little bit of vomit texture I always love in my meals. Mix them all together, and what do you get? Pure heaven.
With everyone fed and happy, it was time for an evening chill out.
Now I don't think it's going to rain tonight, so I've put the awning back. But if it does, that's okay, because I have this. And it gives me an opportunity to show that I can be patriotic, stylish, and still hold 2 beers. And tonight I have a Lost Train from Ottawa, and I have a Yippee from Fredericton. Now, I don't know what the people of Fredericton, New Brunswick think of Ottawa, but I could find myself on the long end of a short pier if I don't try a New Brunswick beer. So here it goes. Oh yeah. See, that's me right there going woohoo. Oh boy. Reminds me of a sea shanty. the short end of a long, long pier if you don't drink a New Brunswick beer. Yeah, I'm sinking fast. They're probably gonna kick me out of this campsite.
Go back to Alberta!
Thank you. At least I got my beer.
Fundy National Park has so much to see during the summer months. But I bet this misty maritime getaway has even more potential as the fall arrives. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please check out my others as well.